All right, so here we go. Yes, Starfield is doing what many would consider to be the impossible, and I'll explain what that means in just a moment. And we also have some words from the Starfield dev team, and there's an in-game feature in Starfield that is so much bigger than most people realize. Now, there's no spoilers here, but we have to talk about it for sure. Now, I personally am absolutely having a blast with Starfield, but it doesn't mean we can't take the time out to check in on some critical feedback about the quality of life improvements the game needs to make it even better. So we're going to do that. And apparently the community as a whole needs to be much louder about this one thing. Plus, some new discussions are dividing fans. Did Bethesda make the right choice using the creation engine for Starfield? Oh boy, this is definitely an interesting one for sure. Also, we have some invaluable tips that will make your experience in Starfield so much better. So we're going to talk about that later in the video. But yeah, let's dive into this one. Starting out with this right here. It says Starfield is having one hell of a launch on Steam. 230,000 peak concurrent users. Fourth biggest launch of the year, passing Armored Core 6 and Resident Evil 4. 500,000 peak Twitch viewers. Top seller on Steam worldwide. Remember that only people who paid up to $100 for early access can play at the moment. That is absolutely staggering right there, and I cannot wait to see what happens on September 6th when the game is available to everyone worldwide. I think this is going to be a monstrosity size of a hit here for Starfield. It's going to be huge. Now, next up we have this from Greg Miller. He says, the amount I have to say about New Game Plus in Starfield is staggering. I've written and deleted so many tweets where I try to say something without spoiling anything. I sense a one-man gamecast coming up this week where I can just vent and tell you my character's story and why I'm obsessing about what I'm going to do over the next several play sessions. I've truly never roleplayed a character the way I am in this RPG. So the in-game, the New Game Plus experience here in Starfield is so much bigger than people think, than people realize. And that's all I'm going to say about that one. Because yes, we're not going to get into any types of spoilers, but I cannot wait to see what happens here once again in like about a month when people really find the time to finish up the game and get into things like New Game Plus and that sort of thing. All right, next up, we got to talk about some quality of life improvements the game does need. Again, I'm loving my time in this game. But yeah, I want this game to get better and better, so check it out. It says, Starfield is cool and fast, but Bethesda definitely skipped over quality of life features. Let's check it out. This one comes from Visual Antelope, who says this, if the game had quality of life features and was easier to navigate, the game would be great, but they spent so much time working on other stuff or something because quality of life in this game is just so bad. So we have no FOV slider. There is a mod, by the way, about that. So check out my previous video. I have a link in the description to that one. No brightness sliders, inventory management, it's just a pain in the butt. So many different storage areas like outposts, homes, companions that can't easily be managed in one hub. Can't track amount of resources gathering when set to track for crafting stuff easily. Need to remember how much you need and what for. The dotted map is unreadable. An elevation map would probably be better than these dots. No maps for cities. Following NPCs takes forever. Hogwarts Legacy fixed this by having them run with you if you're running. People walk like a crawl in this game. That's a great point. That's something that I did notice. I think it would be cool if they could update that. Unintuitive features. How many people know holding right click of the laser tool allows you to break down resources faster or equipping companions? Now, this can be resolved pretty quickly. That's the fault of the game not communicating that to the player. So they need like a simple tutorial letting people know that that is actually something you can do, because people are finding out about it finally after like 12 hours playing. And it says shielded cargo scan percentage doesn't appear in the ship stats. I put like 10 scan deflectors on my ship at 10% each, but it didn't seem to anything to improve my scan evade, and I can't see what my protection is at my ship's stats screen. I think I may just have wasted a bunch of credits doing that. There's some issues with the stat screen I have noticed with the ship in particular, that it's somewhat lackluster, and I would like to have more details there for sure. So I do agree with that as well. Now it says exploring point of interest on planets is so long to run, they're constantly running out of oxygen, far distances, no ground vehicles to go anywhere faster. It'd be cool if they included some sort of Mako vehicle down the road as a free DLC. I'm just going to say it like Mass Effect has, That would be very, very cool, and I'm all for that. Also, we have encumbrance is bad. Seems like clearing a single point of interest and looting enemies will fill you up before you even complete the whole place. Little to no explanation on the UI and features and what certain stats mean. This will get better once people make guides. Is there not something like a Pokedex to see stuff you've scanned? No reset button for character creation. I selected a nose and started modifying stuff and screwed up and wanted to go back to the default, but there's no way to do that. And some more stuff while playing more. I would use companion to hold my stuff too, but they just disappear all the time. That is something that I did notice as well, wondering where did my companion go? So yeah, a little word of warning: if you do have really, really important stuff, do not give it to your companions. Give like the bare minimum stuff. Of course, you want to give the stuff that weighs a lot, but be careful with that one for sure, because that could be a little bit tedious. But yeah, I think there's some good points in there. Again, despite all of the issues, I'm still having a hell of a time in the game, but it would be cool to see Bethesda tap into some of this quality of life improvements that are needed in the game in the long term. But we also have this one right here, and it says this right here: do people even know what they want? Nearly 6,000 upvotes. Let's take a look and see what is said here. It says, to start, I'm not a Bethesda simp. I hated 76, disliked Fallout 4, and enjoyed the rest. I played the heck out of No Man's Sky post patches and found it addicting. I have been playing early access for the better part of 7 hours. It's easily the most engaging game I have played in recent times. I agree. It's Fallout in space with the Diablo loot system. The visuals are amazing, everything maxed. The variety and attributes on loot are cool, and it's fun to explore and pick up stuff and build your character exactly how you want. Challenge missions for skills are neat. It feels like Bethesda went back to their roots. I have said that in my review, and that I totally agree. Then I came to the subreddit to check out any useful tidbits, and holy cow, you would think this game is a trash heap. Field of view, never even noticed, and I'm used to playing at 100. I still think they need more options with that. So yeah, I'm glad there's mods, at least right now, but official support would be cool. Opening the star map constantly, hit F while flying, and you never need to open your map again. A great tip right there. I did a video, by the way, recently, check it out on the channel, on how to make the game so much more enjoyable with simple things that you can do. Man, it makes it more streamlined. Check it out. Now, inventory is bad. I found it extremely easy to do everything I wanted with no extra steps. There are compares and sorting and arrows to tell you what is better or worse. Game is too linear. Like what? The first hour I spend randomly walking to some building at the end of the map to find it populated with robots, picking up loot and goodies the entire way. Yeah, I've heard that people are saying it feels like a linear game, you know, just because you cannot like keep walking and walking and walking, or keep flying and flying, or I've heard that it is the fast travel simulator. I myself, I've been having a ton of fun. I feel like landing on a new planet, there's a sense of wonder, a sense of like exploration like no other, and I personally really dig it. Now, next up we have this one right here. The cities are dead. It felt like walking, out of a plane and into an airport when I got to my first city. There were a ton of buildings to go into and multiple sections of the city. I love the cities. Now it says, do people even play this game, or are they just going off of XXX streamer? What were people expecting from Bethesda? What game even comes close to the detail that was put in the buildings and explorable locations? I mean, everything is handcrafted in place and ready to be looted or explored. I was blown away. All the petty negativity. I had to double check I wasn't in the Diablo 4 subreddit. It took too long to shift through all the criticism posts to find anything, so now I'm going to waste my breath complaining about complainers. I thought that was a great post. Of course, again, like I go back to the fact that some of these so-called like complaints are actual legit critical feedback that Bethesda does need to take into account. But then again, some things are so, in my personal opinion, blown out of proportion as well. And then, yeah, we have this. Bethesda being held back by Creation Engine. This is a fascinating discussion in its own right. From Sorry Orchid 3495 says, no, I do not hate this game or dislike it. I love it. I literally have never spent this much money on buying a 5K PC, 2K OLED, this controller, Vasco statue, the headset, Constellation Edition just for one game. I genuinely believe that Bethesda is just holding themselves back by using this old ass engine. Everybody complaining and saying that they feel like it's regressed, etc., is mainly talking about the loading screens. Then the people responding with, oh, it's not like No Man's Sky, are just not understanding that it's literally just the engine. that's not letting them reach No Man's Sky like transitioning. It might have been possible in older games, but definitely not Starfield. We are in 2023. The creation engine is miles behind in every aspect, unfortunately, and I love this universe where Starfield was made with a newer engine. So we have some edits here, but I wanted to get into some of the replies. It says, at least the load times are ultra fast. Hope they don't get slower as my save file grows, though. So yeah, that's also a concern. Let me know if that's happening to anyone, of course, but that's what I was going to say. It was like, thank goodness the load times are at least very brisk and fast, or we would have major issues. I also think that does depend on what hardware you're running, of course. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that take about the creation engine. I'm kind of curious to see what they do also with Elder Scrolls 6. That's really been on my mind lately since they did reveal that that is now in full development and out of the early stages of R&D. So I'm so very curious to see what they do with that. Also, considering that they have Microsoft backing them in a very big way now. So I don't know, we'll see. But with the creation engine itself, yes, some things are a little bit rough around the edges, but I do see major improvements. Yeah, right there. That's exactly what I wanted to showcase right there, is the fact that enemies react, I think, amazingly well to being hit by, lasers, bullets, that sort of thing. It's very, I guess you would say in some ways, Red Dead Redemption 2 of how they react. So in that way, there have been significant updates to the creation engine. Yeah, I see that spin. That is just badass. And I also think that they did a great job overall with how the NPCs look when they're interacting with you. Primarily, the main NPCs of the game that you would interact with, major side activities, the main characters, companions, that sort of thing. They did a great job with that. Now, other NPCs, that might be more of an issue, of course. We might talk about that in another video, but yes. Let me know your take about the creation engine. Very curious. Also, we have this one. Less than 6% of players have reached level 10. Keep that in mind while reading people's criticisms. That's not to say that people can't critique the game earlier on, but when someone has a finite final opinion about the game based off of, their first time playing it or their first moments, that gets me a little bit worried. And we have this one right here. The community needs to be louder about the performance issues. There are clear performance issues with the game, mainly on PC. If the community doesn't push Bethesda into fixing the game and optimizing it, I doubt they will care much. It might be a good game, but poor performance is what can stop a lot of people from enjoying the game fully. Right now, I'm not seeing enough community feedback about this issue. It's running well below what should be acceptable for how the game looks. I have a 4070 Ti, and there are multiple videos of the card struggling to sustain 60 FPS in 1080p, for example, here, and here. And no, upscaling the game at 1080p isn't the solution to these problems. This card is able to run at least 2 times the FPS in Cyberpunk 2077, which is possibly a way better looking game. So again, I got to ask how it's running for everyone right now. There are some mods out which help with this on NVIDIA. Of course, DLSS mods, check that out. My brother Ryan got his installed, and he said that he was having issues beforehand running the game at a solid 60 frames per second. Now he's getting like up to 120 frames per second. So that is huge right there. So yeah, modding is definitely going to change this game big time. We also have a PSA. Check it out right here. It says the following. It says, PSA, there's an option to auto-hide your helmet and spacesuit. I was wondering if this was in the game. It says, I've seen a few people mentioning how they are annoyed at having to go to the inventory screen and manually take off their spacesuit and helmet every time they enter a breathable area for immersion's sake. But I've just learned that there is a not so obvious button prompt hidden away in your inventory screen. So there it is. Yeah, the option is right there where you can show helmet in breathable areas, and yeah, also for your spacesuit as well. So the more you know, you might have missed out on that detail, but I know a lot of people really like to be fully immersed. They don't want to be actually roaming around the city in a fully decked out spacesuit. And I've actually seen NPCs. I think this is a pretty cool detail. NPCs commenting, "Why are you wearing your helmet?" It's like they're letting me know, hey, you're not doing it right. So this is a very cool feature. All right, so next up, we have this one right here. My dumbass took 15 hours to realize you can mine asteroids. This one comes from Doll Caterpillar 3153, who says, so If you just blast away at asteroids with any of your weapons, you can cause them to blow up, and you'll get a lot of resources for each one you destroy. Some really rare resources for crafting in there too. A few times I've also found loot caches, which are somehow buried in asteroids, and even once found a legendary helmet from one. So yeah, I didn't know about this, and I'm not sure if you guys did either. But yeah, it's in the game and seems like a decent way to get some high tier resources for crafting and selling. And, you know, to add to this, you can also use those same asteroids as cover. You probably figured that out. And be warned, enemies can break your cover as well. Also, we have another tip. Check it out. It says tip, build an outpost as early as you can. This one comes from Critical Course 4528, who says nothing fancy. Iron auto miner plus solid storage plus power item storage. That's it. Let it generate basic resources for you. Pure profit. You can store your contraband in your first item storage until you get a proper ship upgrade. It is safe in your outpost. Do the same for water and aluminium. No, I'm just kidding. Aluminum. Small tips. Alienate tea. Craft it. Use it. 2% experience for 15 minutes. You are ready to finish the quest. Drink it and finish it. Doesn't sound like much, but anything that boosts your experience gain is a must. Also, sleeping gives you 10% experience boost gain from 24 hours in game. Sleep, drink tea, go exploring. So great advice right there. So get on it. Build those outposts as early as possible. Do not neglect it. Also, Digipicks shouldn't be in the same category as junk items. The title really says it all. This is a really strange design decision, and it's paired with a sell all button I can't use because I need the Digipicks. How strange. Yeah, that definitely needs to be modified as well. But we need to talk about what the developers have said recently officially about Starfield, and interestingly about Fallout 76. So check it out right here. Emil Hagarulo, hopefully I got that right, says, I haven't gotten a lot of sleep in the past couple of days for obvious reasons. A lot of that going around at Bethesda. It's been a real whirlwind now. Coming up for breath, I'm just overwhelmed by all the love and support for Starfield and Bethesda Game Studio. Let's keep going. It says, I'm in the very fortunate, privileged place where I get to speak for some of my talented colleagues. So on behalf of our incredible design team and really the team as a whole, thank you all so much. Your enjoyment of Starfield is everything to us. Our goal from the very beginning was to create brand new universes for our players, old and new, to get lost and to push ourselves to provide you with as much content and hopefully joy as we were humanly capable of. Did we pull it off? Well, we sure as hell tried. Furthermore, he says, when 76 launched rough, we asked for your patience. We had some lessons to learn, and you support us as we support that game and made it the experience you wanted and deserved. That trust clearly carried over into Starfield and made us want to work even harder. And we made Starfield for ourselves and for all of you. We are a studio of gamers and dreamers, a studio of real people with families, struggles, hopes, and fears. Our one goal was always this, to bring us all together in space for one into the Starfield. I love that read. That was great. And yeah, it's interesting. A lot of the trials and tribulations, I suppose you would say, that they have really worked through. Must have been a rough time at Bethesda during Fallout 76 for sure. And to recover from that also through the pandemic and things like that, and to make this game tells you something. Also, the most bug-free Bethesda game ever. You know, kudos to them for working through it all, because like he said, they are actual people. Do not forget that. Also, I gotta highlight this right here. Check it out. Yes, character creation has been wild. It says, because why not? And we have the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Howard himself in the character creator. But don't forget about the ship customization and creation. Check it out. We have this one right here. It says, ice cargo sandwich. Look at that. That is absolutely crazy. And we're getting more and more of a taste of what people are actually pulling off here. Don't forget about my Tony Soprano build. Check it out. We got a gangster with the traits hero, worshipped, wanted, and kid stuff. Your parents are alive and well, and you can visit them at their home. This is definitely Tony Soprano right here. Now, remember, you could submit your own creations, your characters, and of course, the ships that you have built, the bases that you have built to me so I can highlight them in future videos. Check out that link in the description below. I'm kind of curious to see what you all have been busy doing. So by all means, don't hesitate. Send in your creations. I cannot wait to see what you guys have been up to. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments from my most recent video, which of course is this one right here. Do this now to make the game 10 times more enjoyable. By all means, check out this video. You do not want to miss those tips right there. Trust me. Now we have Chance Harper who says this: I'm loving this game. The adventure I'm having, the random things happening that I can't believe I witnessed. The character and the story are incredible. Your parents are awesome. Even with the very few negatives, all of them can easily be ignored for the positives this game provides. I'm in love with this just like I was in Skyrim nearly 12 years ago. That is exactly how I'm feeling. So like I'm telling you what, this game for me, I just love it, and I cannot wait to hop back into it even after this video is edited. Now, we also have this right here, Use Jives Turkey, who says, you can do the fast travel thing while on planets as well, like traveling from district to district in New Atlantis, for example. If you're kind of scratching your head, what is he talking about? Yeah, if you open up your scanner when you are on a planet, like you said, New Atlantis, just highlight over the landmarks that are appearing, and you could fast travel directly to them. You could even fast travel to your ship instead of having to open up the map. This is one area of the game that I personally really, really love, and I think they kind of nailed down. Of course, I still want that option to have a local map. That's definitely needed. Now we have Craze Bunkers, who says, I can't wait to see vehicle mods come out for this. I really do think that modding teams need to focus up on that in particular, is being able to hop into a vehicle. Yes, we do have the jetpack, but man, like I said previously, it would be nice to have something like the Mako to roam around a planet. All right, next up, we have having a lot of fun. Game feels fine to me on the Series S. I wanted Fallout in space. I got Fallout in space. I'm happy. It's funny you mentioned that, because when I was making some of my first Starfield videos after playing this game, I kept calling it like Fallout 5 accidentally. Because, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. I just wanted Bethesda to go back to the roots. That's what I wanted most. I just wanted more of like that Fallout Skyrim experience. In my personal opinions, we did get that. All right, so thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Starfield news and updates. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.